All right, we begin with a Fox News alert. Rescue efforts are underway at Mariupol theater that was bombed by Russian forces yesterday.
They are estimating up to 1,000 civilians had taken shelter inside the building, including children, at one point or another over the last 22 days. But right now, there are no reports of any deaths, extraordinarily.
Yeah, that's a miracle. Jonathan Hunt joins us live from Western Ukraine with the latest. Jonathan?
Rachel, Steve, Brian, we understand that that urgent rescue effort is ongoing. It appears that at least a large part of the shelter underneath that theater in the southern city of Mariupol survived intact. So rescuers are digging through the rubble, trying to move it off of the shelter itself and get to those who may have survived inside. That theater, by the way, was clearly marked with the word children on both sides of it as a sign to the Russians: do not hit this building because it is being used to shelter civilians, including children. The Russians bombed it anyway, according to Ukrainian officials. We're also seeing disturbing video today out of the city of Chernihiv. That's just north of Kyiv. According to a tweet from the U.S. Embassy here in Ukraine, Russian soldiers simply opened fire on people standing in line to buy bread. At least 10 people killed in that apparently completely unwarranted attack on people just trying to buy provisions. We're also seeing the bombing of, or the aftermath of a bombing of a school in the eastern city of Kharkiv. That happening again yesterday as the Russians seem to continue to attack civilian targets. In the southern port city of Odessa, that is a critical port on the coast of the Black Sea, we understand that hundreds, if not thousands of people now appear to be packing up and getting out of there. That could be a sign that they believe a Russian assault from warships, which we know are in the Black Sea, could be coming soon. Although I understand from some people I know who are in Odessa right now that at this moment it is quiet. That doesn't mean it will remain so, of course. And meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin issuing the most terrifying warning to anybody in Russia who is even thinking of opposing him. Listen here to the president.
But any people, and even more so the Russian people, will always be able to distinguish true patriots from scum and traitors and simply spit them out like a fly that accidentally flew into the mouth. Spit them out. I am convinced that such a natural and necessary cleansing of society will only strengthen our country.
A cleansing of society. We literally have not heard that sort of language from a Russian leader since the days of Stalin. Steve, Rachel, Brian?
You're right, Jonathan. He also said the West is using Russian traitors to create the civil unrest on the streets of Moscow and elsewhere in Russia as well. Hey, Jonathan, I wanted to ask you, apparently 6 nations have called for the United Nations Security Council to meet today before a scheduled vote on a Russian resolution. And the resolution from the Russians demands protection for Ukrainian citizens in vulnerable situations. That would be pretty much everybody in Ukraine. This resolution never mentions that Russia actually started the war.
It's really kind of hard to believe when you hear things like that, Steve. But Russia is, of course, one of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council. They have the right to put forward any resolution they want to. They also have the right to continually to veto any resolution they don't like. So you can see why a lot of people believe that the United Nations is playing no effective role here. You have the country that started a war, an unjustified war, an unprovoked war, able to veto any resolution in the body that was designed in the first place to stop wars. Yeah, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, and we pay for that, by the way. We pay for the UN. Go ahead, Brian.
Can we get our money back?
If you look at Mykolaiv, Kharkiv, you look at all these major cities, what I find astounding is, despite the shelling, Jonathan, they have not given up. The Russians, for 10 days, have not taken a major city in the Ukraine. How much is that due to their lack of sophisticated weapons, tactics, and communication? And how much does that have to do with the reorganized resistance and communication of the Ukrainians?
I think it's probably a bit of both there, Brian. Certainly, the Russians have been organizationally inept. If you talk to a lot of military experts, they have the weaponry, they have the air power, they just haven't used it in the right way, according to a lot of generals that we've spoken to. And on the flip side of that, you have this fearsome Ukrainian defense. The Ukrainians are extremely proud people. They have always said, nobody is coming in here and taking our land. They have repeatedly said they are confident, they have genuine faith, Brian, that they will win this war, and they are no doubt being helped by the supply of weaponry, the air defense systems, the Javelin missiles, the Stinger missiles that is being fed from Western European nations, some of them coming from the United States. So they are grateful for that help. They always want more, of course, but it is making a difference, the weapons that we, the United States and other nations, are supplying to Ukraine.
That's right.
Thank you, Jonathan. Great stuff.